What is going on, everybody? I'm Retro Bliss, and you are on the Retro Bliss Rewind podcast. We are going to have a great show tonight. We're going to be talking about our top 5 favorite Atari 2600 Activision third-party titles. For those of you who may be over at Mike's Gaming Gala watching from over there, we simulcast over there. We welcome you as well. We're going to have a good time. So let's just get to it. Let's jump in. Mike.
Hey, welcome back, Phil.
Yeah, it's been a bit. You guys know I've been having some issues. Anyway, Brian from BD Retro Mods, and then our very, very special guest. He's not new to the Retro Bliss Rewind podcast. Dr. Scott from Game Closet. What's going on?
Oh, I'm so happy to be here. This is going to be a great one.
Yep. It is. It's going to be a lot of fun, and we haven't revealed any of our choices to each other. So there's going to be overlap. There will be different reasons why these games may or may not be on our list. We're going to pick our top 5, but you guys will want to stick around to the end, because at the very last, we're each going to pick our very least favorite, and we're going to explain why that is. So first of all, I'm just going to start it. I'm gonna let Mike pick first, but I'm gonna I gotta say this. When I was coming up, when the 2600 came out, it was only 2600 games, and then when the guys left Atari to start Activision, and they started cranking out titles, with a few exceptions, you knew that you were going to get a good or decent game, or at least a better game than some of the stuff that Atari was putting out at the time. And so at one point, it's like I was looking for new Activision titles first, before I would even look at any new Atari stuff. So this is going to be a lot of fun. I can't wait. And the thing of it is, like with my picks, I was looking at my picks. Out of the top 5, I only have nostalgia for one, because out of the 5, I only had one as a kid. The other ones I played later on. So nostalgia plays a part in the way some of us pick sometimes. But I still didn't pick actually the best games, and I'll explain that in a minute too.
Well,
but anyway,
favorites, right? You got to pick your favorites.
Yeah, and they're my favorites right now. They may not be my favorites a month from now, right? That's just the way it goes.
If I was picking my favorites from when I was a kid, Oink would be on my list. I loved Oink. It's not on my list tonight.
Yeah. So,
it's a good player game.
Why don't you go ahead and start us off, Mike, and tell us what your number 5 is? We're going to go from
number
5 to 1.
Okay, so I mean, this is probably the hardest top 5, top 10 we've ever done for me, because I've got like a top 15 here, and I had to pick 5 of those. And like the top ones were maybe a little easier, but I ended up going with seaquest for my number 5. Seaquest, and like all the ones on my top 5 I had as a kid. Seaquest was fighting with h.e.r.o. I think I dropped h.e.r.o. to the 6th place spot, because h.e.r.o. I didn't have as a kid. I got it in my 20s. But seaquest, I mean, you look at it, and on the surface, it's a very simple game. Just collect the guys and don't get hit. But there's strategy involved. You can go up for air earlier, but you'll lose a guy when you go up for air if you're not full. You can try to risk staying down as long as possible. Later levels, there's a destroyer on the surface. There is a lot more strategy involved than you would think. It can be frantic, but it ramps up decently slowly. It's not like ridiculous hard in level 2 or anything. Really fun game. I enjoy playing it every time I do. So that's my number 5.
seaquest,
and I love that game. I think I gave seaquest a 9 out of 10 when I did my mini review, which shows you how much I like the 4 on that are above it.
That's one of those games that I want to learn to play better there are a number of games on that Activision. And how many titles did you say there were? There were like, there's 40 some titles altogether. I was like shocked. And then
I think there's like 46 if you include the Venetian Blind game that was released. It's not an actual Activision release, but it's on the official list.
And so I was looking after Mike was saying that. I went down to my collection and started looking. I don't have them all. I have like 34 of the titles. I was like, and I knew I didn't have them all. And I'm like, I can't believe I had that many Activision titles, but I do. It's crazy. But seaquest is one of those games that it's not on my list, spoiler alert, but it's one of those games that I would really like to learn to play and enjoy a little bit more than I have.
Yeah. Cannabis Kid misspelled great news, but Todd Fry's Pac-Man's going to be re-released.
Yeah, well, that's a story for another show. Yeah. But the good news is that it's going to have a modified version of the Atari 40th anniversary version by Bob DiCrescenzo in it. So that would make it worth getting. If it's just the 2600 crap man, then
and that's the one that I'm looking forward to getting. Well, the 7800 version.
Well, either way, Phil's going to buy 45 copies of it to celebrate the 45th anniversary. So,
yeah. Okay. Well, Brian, since you wanted to talk, let's let you talk. What's your number 5?
No, so it was actually hard because I went between seaquest and the game I'm going to be saying because, like you already prefaced in the beginning, is just there's so many good Activision games, and it's really hard to not enjoy most, if not all of them. It's just, but my number 5, and it's really just with nostalgia because I had a lot of fun with it growing up, is Stampede, and
it's a classic.
I just really enjoyed it.
I played the heck out of that game, man.
I thought it was, I don't know. I thought it was cool at the time because, it's like, man, it actually sounds like a horse running, as you're running and trying to, collect the cattle and dodge the cattle skulls on the ground and stuff. And
it's one of those games where it's got more strategy to it than you'd first think.
Absolutely. Right. It's got strategy to it. It was funny that you mentioned this game because a couple months back, John Gen X Grown Up did a review of Stampede, and he was doing like a little live thing as he was going on as he's talking about it. And I don't think it was live, but he was playing it in the review, and he couldn't break 1,000. He was going on and on about the game, and he couldn't break 1,000. And so there's a strategy to it. Now you have
to know that you can like hit the cattle to push them back forward. A lot of people don't know that. They're like, oh, if I missed it, it's gone.
I divide the screen up into 2. I'll get the bottom 3 rows going in one color, and then I'll just bump the other 3 forward. But anyway, great game. That's a great choice. I like it. I like it a lot. Okay. Scott, what is your number 5 for Activision Atari 2600 games? I'm anxious to hear your pick.
Well, I know we all had our criteria for this, but for me, I was really wrestling between, well, what was my favorite then? What was my favorite now? I decided to do this by eliminating all nostalgia from and just go strictly on gameplay. That's why it's my favorite.
This is your cold-hearted list.
Yeah, this is I because otherwise I'd be going, oh well, freeway because I love playing with my kids, and same thing with fishing. No, I took all that out. There might be a tinge of nostalgia in one, but I'll tell you that in a minute. But my number 5 is Megamania, and it is number 5 for me, and it makes this list because of how random it is, how crazy it can get. And it is probably one of the most random games for the 2600. I can't think of any other game where even though you know what's going to be coming next, category wise, whether it be the like all the different the hamburgers, if you will, or the spaceships or whatever, you never know which direction they're going to go, and it gets so frustrating. But at the same time, it's addictive. And my best friend and I, that is his absolute favorite game.
Really?
I believe. Yeah. Well, I know he really loved Pitfall as well, but that was his favorite game on the 2600. And I actually got better by watching him, but I'm still not as good as him.
So there's there's two camps. There's the Spider Fighter camp and there's the Megamania camp. I love both, but I fall into the Spider Fighter camp. Oh, Jeremiah does too. I've won favor.
I love Spider Fighter, but I'm not anywhere as near as good at it as I am Megamania.
There are definite strategies to Spider Fighter, whereas you're right, Megamania.
It's just stay alive.
It's just stay alive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that brings me to my number 5, and believe it or not, Megamania is my number 5.
Really?
Now,
okay.
Yeah, it is. Great minds think alike, right, Scott? Megamania was written by Steve Cartwright for Activision, and he wanted to make a game that was similar to the arcade game Astro Blaster. And so that's why you see the random levels and the way that the enemies come in and how you have to shoot them, because Astro Blaster is very similar in the arcade. Now, obviously, you couldn't do that with the 2600 exactly at that time, but I think Steve Cartwright did a really nice job on that. That's like I said, this is the only game. I think I said this prior to the show. It's the only game on my list that I had as a kid. I had Megamania and I played it to death. I played it so much, and it just was so much fun. Getting past the dice level, and then starting the new rounds in a different way. It was such fun for me, and I really, really to this day enjoy playing Megamania. So
it's a great game.
All right, Mike.
It is
number 4, baby.
All right, so I just have to respond to Jeremiah. See, he thinks Sneak and Peek is a 6 out of 10, which means that his opinion is irrelevant. That's just how it works here. My number 4.
Well, nothing like drinking in the evening.
Yeah. Number 4 for me. Again, mine are nostalgic favorites, but this is a really good game. And again, there is strategy to it that you wouldn't necessarily at first think. But Dolphin. So what I really liked about it, and it took me forever to figure out as a kid until my dad finally told me, he's like, when it's a higher pitch, the hole is higher. Like, you've got to gauge the pitch. So there's this pitch going like a sonar, and you're trying to escape this octopus or squid through, you're a dolphin and you're trying to escape through holes in the coral walls or whatever, or the seahorse walls. And based on the sonar, the tone, that hole is either going to be high, low, in the middle. And once you master it, it is a whole lot of fun. And then if there's a seagull, you can jump out of the water, touch the seagull, and then if you touch the octopus, he dies, and you can get away. But every time you miss that hole, it'll bump you back, and that octopus is a little closer. I absolutely love that game. I know it's not going to be for everybody. It's not going to be on probably any of your guys' lists. It's a nostalgic pick for me, but I really, really like it.
That's one of those games I need to sit down and play. I can't say that I've really played it a bunch, but I can tell that it has strategy involved, and it's not easy. It's not easy because the number of times that I've actually attempted and started to play, I'm like, oh man, I need some time on this because you can't just do it. You have to know what you're doing and have a strategy to that game. But the graphics are amazing, the colors are cool, and so I think it's a great pick.
Everything from pretty much everything from Activision is going to be very colorful. They made beautiful games, even if they're even the games of theirs that I don't necessarily like, they look good.
Agreed.
Well, even as David Crane said, he goes, if it doesn't look like the thing that it's supposed to be, then it doesn't make it into the game. And I was like, well, that's why they all look great.
They had a higher standard for what they put out, for sure. All right, Brian, you're up.
Yeah, my number 4. It's already been talked about a few times already, but my number 4 was Megamania.
Am I the only Spider Fighter guy in the list in the group here?
It's not that I don't like Spider Fighter. It's just I played this one more, and
that's fair.
And again, it's a very fun game for all the reasons that's kind of already been discussed. So,
it's a good game. I love it. So yeah, I mean, what hasn't been said?
If you somehow not have tried this yet, definitely do it. And because like you can, I think, buy a copy for literally like just a couple bucks. It's
and
not
if you guys
expensive at all. So
if you guys have,
I didn't realize that I've got an ocean theme going on with my picks. I got to change some of my other picks now.
I forgot what I was going to say. Oh,
sorry.
Astro Blaster. You guys, if you've never played Astro Blaster in the arcade, try it out. You're going to be like, now I understand why this game Megamania was made. It's not Astro Blaster, it's its own thing. But the approach to it is different, and it's probably the first shooter that I can remember that wasn't Space Invader drop drop. You just had a bunch of different ways. So yeah, it's great pick. So all right, Dr. Scott, number 4.
This game, I just discovered it within the last 2 or 3 years. And I when I bought it, I was like, why? I never had this. And I think I might have bought it at Korg's or Torg or one of them. I don't remember which one. And someone, I don't even remember who it was. Oh, you got to try this game. And I was like, all right. And I checked it out. And I was like, where has this game been my whole life? I love this game. It's Crackpots by Dan Kitchen.
Oh.
And, it's to me, it's kind of
I played the crap out of that when I was younger.
When I started playing the heck out of this, like as soon as I got it, and I was like, to me, it was kind of like Kaboom in reverse, sort of, but I thought it was a lot more intense.
It gets chaotic quick. Yeah. It does, man. And because every level is different, like the way that the
but it's a rotating. I think there's like 5 different spider types, and then you rotate through them.
Yeah,
I used to be able to loop that game like 30 times.
Really,
and to the point that like I never died. I just quit the game.
It's time for dinner, and I'm bored.
not necessarily I'm bored, but it's just like, okay, I've played this enough.
Yeah,
I always thought if it was a paddle game, it might be a bit better. But
I thought that too. I was like, if this was a paddle game, it would be. Well, maybe that's just a discussion for another day. Maybe we might know someone who could take care of that for us. But anyway, that's my number 4.
Great pick. My number 4 has been mentioned, even though it's not been picked yet, and that is Spider Fighter.
Attaboy.
Yeah, it's above Megamania, so you'll be happy to hear that, Mike. It is above Megamania. Spider Fighter was written by Larry Miller, and what's interesting about this game is this is another one of those games that if you look into it, this game was the idea of it, protecting the fruit, came from the arcade game Stratovox, where you have the astronauts or whatever on the platforms there that you've got to make sure that they're not picked up and taken away.
Yeah.
It's the same thing.
Same kind of concept. You don't want them running off with the fruit.
Yeah. And after I can't remember what level it is or whatever, the shooting really ramps up. Like it goes faster and faster and faster. And so it gets chaotic really quick. And if you have a migraine, it's not fun to play.
Not a good migraine game. Fun story about Spider Fighter. Mr. Postile, who's in the chat, the show used to have competitions every week, and one week it was Spider Fighter, and he and I fought. We both ended up with over 300,000 point scores.
Oh wow!
And in order to do that, you got to play for like 2 hours to get that. It's intense. And again, Jeremiah, I'm not even going to bother bringing it up because your opinions are null and void if you think Sneak and Peek is a 6.
All right, Mike, let's just get to number 3.
Number 3, I think, is a real unsung hero. Yeah, it's a big nostalgia pick for me, but I think it's also among Activision's best games from the era. But it's Pressure Cooker. And the more I talk about Pressure Cooker, the more I realize not a lot of people had it or played it when they were younger. You have to keep track of what the orders are. You have to keep track of what vegetables or buns or cheese or whatever are flying out of the things. You have to assemble the burgers. Then you have to recognize what color it goes into. Is it a green, blue, or a red? And once you know how to play, it is such an addictive game. And I absolutely love Pressure Cooker. I played it all the time as a kid.
It's that's another one of those games that you've had on your list, Mike, that I haven't really played a lot that I want to.
Yeah, you should.
There's strategy to that game, and you have your reflexes and your decision making has to be quick.
Yeah, very much in the decision making, like the snap decisions is like, okay, do I need onion or not? Because you can throw it back, or you can, yeah.
Oh, I didn't know you could do that. We'll get into that.
If you hold the button and it hits you, it'll bounce back.
Okay.
So if you don't need onions, don't grab onions. But don't let them like just smash either, because you lose points. Because the scoring, or what leads to you eventually losing isn't, oh, you forgot to make X number of burgers or anything like that. Is you have like an approval score. And every time you drop a piece of food, every time you drop a burger, every time a burger goes off the conveyor belt and wasn't put away, that ticks down, and it's different for everything. And eventually you'll get to 0, and that's when it's game over.
Yep. I gotta check that one out and play it a little bit more. But that's another one. Spoiler alert, is not on my list. But I would like it to be. Maybe one day. All right, Brian, number 3.
Yeah. My number 3 is h.e.r.o. I mean, it's such a good platformer, and just, everything involved with it. Just, I don't want to say the randomness, because obviously once you know how the level plays out, but like if it's your first time playing the level, just that randomness of, oh crap, which one do I drop down now? Like what am I going to run into as soon as I drop down? And just the mechanics of being able to fly. Up
and the
down,
the worst is if the first thing you hit when you go down is a light, and then you're like,
yeah, right,
right.
Oh yeah. And when you play that in higher modes, ooh, that game gets rough real quick.
Hello, snakes.
I love h.e.r.o. I didn't put it on my list because I knew everybody else would probably have it on their list. My only problem with h.e.r.o. on the 2600 is I am constantly accidentally dropping dynamite and blowing myself up.
Yeah.
I wish there was just like a second button on that Atari joystick.
Mm-hmm.
That would be helpful.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I think it definitely plays easier on 5200 for that exact reason.
Yeah.
But
I think on the Commodore 64 too, it seems like it has a little more finesse to it, and you can have a little more control.
Mm-hmm. But it's still a great game.
That doesn't mean it's not a fantastic game on the 2600.
Right.
Yeah.
Very well done. And honestly, I mean, just off the cusp, I don't know that anything ever mimicked it. You know what I mean? When it came to the 2600.
Yeah, it was its own thing. It was. They weren't trying to make a copy of a game or a game similar to a game. It was unique in itself. And for that, I never had it. It came out a little later in the life of the console. By that time, I was done with the 2600. I graduated to the Atari 8-bit and was doing my own thing with that. So anyway, all right, Dr. Scott.
Number 3 for me is also h.e.r.o.
You got to be joking me, people.
No, not at all. And I got my copy. Matter of fact, this particular copy is my second one. My original disappeared maybe a year after I got it. And I don't know if one of the kids in the neighborhood, I left it over their house or something like that, but I just could never find it. And then a friend of mine gave me this one. And this is a repro label. Because
I was gonna wonder. I'm like, my label does not look like that, so I'm like,
no, that is a repro label.
Making a second version.
I love this comment from Mr. Poststyle.
Oh, nice.
Oh,
But yeah, I was gifted that one, and it looked like the label had been set on fire or something. It was really bad, so I was like, oh, I'll take that off.
you might as well, it's not going to change the value of the game, because if the label's that jacked up,
right?
You might as well put a new label on it. That's my opinion anyway.
Well, there's a couple games that I've sold in the past, and I put new labels on them, and I told people, I'm like, that's a repro label, and they're like, we don't care. And but this everything that Brian said and beyond. I mean, I was playing this one on the Commodore 64 after I lost my Atari one, and that's where I started really getting a lot better at it. And since I haven't had it in a long time, I've been spending a little more time with it, and it's not as easy to memorize some of the stuff nowadays. But the nice thing is, once you hit, I think it's level 19 or 20, the levels do get randomized, but it's still the same level, and it may not have been the same ones in order, but you're sitting there going, okay, now what am I doing?
Which one is this?
Which one am I on? But what a fantastic game. Absolutely.
I don't know if you still have it up, but you did a really nice review of h.e.r.o on your channel. If it's still up, you guys need
I do.
Yep. Go to after
I can put it in the chat.
Yeah, if you can. Yeah, put the link in there. That'd be fine. One
of my most involved reviews. So if you're gonna watch it, you got to sit through a couple minutes of a movie first.
Yeah,
so just be prepared.
Yeah. It's.
Why don't we, before we get to Phil's number 3, why don't we do a quick lightning round? Pac-Man 2600, yes or no?
No.
Yes, why not?
No. If Munchie Man 2600, okay, but Pac-Man 2600, unless it's 8K or 4K.
Yeah, the fact that it was Pac-Man, no. If it was named anything else, I would have probably been okay.
That's my point. That's exactly my point.
Good game, bad port.
Yep. Yeah.
And we all know what Dr. Scott says. He said,
I'm waiting for Todd Fryer to answer me whether or not he's going to be on the show so I can ask for my money back. Anyway.
It wasn't all Todd's fault.
All right. My number 3 is h.e.r.o. I promise you it is number 3. Now,
did I miss the meeting? I mean,
you must have. First of all, this was written by John Van Ryzen, and excuse me, there have been it has been ported to, I know, at least minimum 10 different consoles, including recent versions for the Atari 7800 and the Intellivision. Excuse me. It's a great game. It's legendary, so much so that there was a community calling for a h.e.r.o 2, which, by the way, there is a h.e.r.o 2.
What's it called?
Game Select. By Game Select, who is out of Portugal? Brazil. I'm sorry.
They speak Portuguese.
He speaks Portuguese. Okay, I can't speak. Okay. But when Audacity Games was formed by the guys that used to work and had founded Activision, John Van Ryzen did a sequel called Alien Abduction, and it's a lot of fun. You guys need to check it out. But anyway, just h.e.r.o itself has been ported more than at least minimum 10 times that I know of. 10 times that I know of. So Heli for the Intellivision, and then ARTI for the 7800. Those are
the
really...
ARTI is my favorite version of it.
Well, what's nice about that one is what you alluded to about the 2-button control. Being able to drop your bombs with one button and then fly with the other, or I think that's the way it works. Anyway, all right. So that was my number 3. So three of us picked the same for that same number. That's I don't know if we've ever had that happen before. All right, Michael, number 2. We're moving right along tonight.
Yes, but we also get to do our least favorite.
Yeah,
so that one
really cause some controversy.
You know what? Just responding to Jeremiah's comments is going to take like half the show, so that's fine. My number 2 is Robot Tank. So I was a huge and again, there are 2 camps. There's Battle Zone and there's Robot Tank. When I was a kid, it was Battle Zone. I absolutely love Battle Zone. You feel like you're in a tank, especially at the arcade with the 2 joysticks. But the Atari version was still, I loved it, but it's a lot simpler. Robot Tank. I keep wanting to say Robo Tank like it's RoboCop. Robot Tank
by Peter Wall.
There's weather situations that you have to deal with. Things can go wrong with your tank. You can lose your radar. You can lose mobility. It's much more simulation. And honestly, on the Atari 2600, sometimes simulation really doesn't work out. But well, I mean, dude, Russia and Ukraine. Yes, there's goddamn snow in a battle zone. Russia, Finland. Anyhow, let's forget that. Yeah, just because there's simulation on the Atari 2600 quite often doesn't work very well. But in this case, it's still arcadey enough that and when I'm playing it, you actually kind of you start developing a story in your head. It's like fog falls over the thing, and you're just focusing on your radar, and you're trying to avoid shots. And man, Robot Tank.
You're doing that because of Robotron 2084. I guarantee it.
I'm doing it more because RoboCop. I think. But
you think?
Yeah,
gotta be.
Robot Tank is a phenomenal tank game. If you haven't played it, please play it.
All right, nice pick. All right, Brian, number 2 for you.
My number 2, and again, if you've heard me on many of our other past shows, this is probably a no-brainer. But my number 2 is Kaboom, and it's just simple because I love paddle games. I love playing paddle games, and this is probably one of my most favorite paddle games on the 2600. And
did you know that it's still not as good as Video Olympics, which is a 4-player paddle game on the 2600?
You're not saying that because Jeremiah is in the. I was going to say you're not saying that. For Jeremiah.
I just wanted to beat Jeremiah. I just wanted to beat Jeremiah to the punch.
Well, getting back to Kaboom, what he was saying. I played the heck out of that. I had that. That was one of the games I did get early on. That was one of Activision's earlier ones, I think, maybe. And yeah, I played it a bunch.
Yeah. I mean, it's just
I played a lot of Kaboom.
I mean, it's just such a simple concept that's what makes it fun. It's just, and again, it doesn't take long before it gets insane too. Just try and keep up with it all. I mean, like the first level or 2, they give you some grace, and then it's like after that, nope, you're flying. I mean,
and if you have a jittery set of paddles, you're done.
I was going to say, if you don't have your paddles aren't working right, you can't play it.
Right.
However, and I didn't know this when I started using Stella, I actually find I am much better at Kaboom using a mouse on Stella.
Oh yeah, I've done that. Yeah, because you can just just
you can
just
whip it across here. You don't have to do the whole.
My problem is if I try that on Stella, if I'm not, because of my shoulder, I have a bad shoulder. If I'm not at the right angle, my on my vertical or my horizontal may not be as far going right as it is left. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So my timing is just not always there. But yeah, Stella, you can do it with a mouse if you guys want to emulate. So it's good.
Cool.
So.
And I'll say that I really don't think Kaboom's overrated. I mean, I will agree with you. Egomania is definitely another good paddle game, because it's from US Games, which I think because of that, a lot of people aren't familiar with that one.
Egomania is a great game.
I just sold my copy,
and you get to throw the eggs back at the turkey.
Yeah. So no, I mean, I don't disagree with you. Egomania is a good game. It's just, but it's not Activision one. So I can't pick it. So.
All right, Scott, we're at number 2 already.
It's kind of funny that this is my number 2 because at one point I must have written the number 2 on it when I was a kid or something. but it's Enduro. And this is my copy from when I was a kid.
Just missed my list.
Me too, man.
You know, God bless Jay Malone from Square Pegs. He really likes pole position on the Atari 2600. I think that game just smells to high heaven.
Enduro's the best racing game.
Yeah,
from the original library.
Yeah,
right. And I like pole position in the arcade, and I can even tolerate it on the 7800. But Enduro is, you start off fairly simply with having to defeat the 200 cars, and then eventually, you're going from daytime to evening. You move into dusk, and then it's night, and then you go through fog, and then of course then it's starting to become morning again. And if you don't get those last cars, and it can get frantic there at the end, you don't get those last couple of cars, it's over. But in that second round, then you got to have 300 cars every single time, and it can get really, really. It can be a really daunting task, especially when you're not blinking and your eyes are getting very dry and you can't hit pause, and your mom's going, "Come on in here for dinner."
Yeah, and the different like weather situation. When you're in the snow area, it does feel a little more like you're driving on snow.
Yeah,
and in the fog area, I usually do really well with, because it's just like the lights.
The snow area does feel like snow. Yeah.
Yeah. The furthest I can get is day 5. I don't think I've ever gotten to day 6. Maybe once.
I don't know how far.
It's fun trying though. It is so much fun trying. Even if you can't get that far, it's just a fun racing game. Such a good choice.
His opinion invalid.
and that's the one that has just a wee bit of nostalgia in there, but just a hint, because I've always loved that game, and I remember buying it at Sears, and my dad be like, "Yeah, you mowed enough lawns here in the past few weeks and stuff."
Yeah.
Okay.
I wish I had Enduro when I was a kid, because when I first played it, when I first kind of figured out that Enduro was a thing, because I always thought like a motorcycle game on the Master System, right, for Enduro, but man, I fell in love with it instantly. I would have loved to play that as a kid.
Enduro, I was like Mike. It was a toss up between Enduro or Megamania for my number 5. It was almost like a coin flip for me. But Enduro, the way I played games on the 2600 as a kid was archaic. I had a 13-inch black and white, and I had this little stand to put it on. I didn't have like a real TV cart because it was just a small TV, right? So I had this little stand. So when I'm playing, I'm looking down like this all the time. But I played Enduro a ton as a kid. Of course, like I said, it was black and white on that little cheap, I don't even know what, RCA TV. I can't remember. But yeah, very archaic, but man, so much nostalgia.
And this was so long ago based on your childhood. It was like one of those round screens from the 40s.
Actually, I remember as a kid having one of those old fashioned TVs. Yep. Don't even laugh. So anyway, all right. My number 2. It's my turn. My number 2 is Keystone Capers. So I love Keystone Capers. That was written by Gary Kitchen, and he has said that he wrote that game. Now, if you guys know, he ported Donkey Kong over to the 2600, but he wanted to do a game that I can't pay attention to chat and talk. He wanted to do a game that was similar to Donkey Kong, but different, and so. You're not climbing each level. You're taking escalators or elevators to each level, and then you can gather things along the way, but you must also avoid things along the way. Biplanes, bouncing balls, shopping carts, and your job is to capture Harry Hooligan, I think is his name.
Yeah.
And before he gets to the end of the rooftop level, and it's been ported a number of times for a number of different systems, and there's a 7800 version that you can get from Opco Games called Keystone Coppers, and it's a good game too. It's got a little variation to it, and the graphics are improved, but the gameplay is basically the same. And Gary Kitchen he knocked it out of the park with that one. And it's not one of those games I had as a kid. I never had it as a kid, but man, I really, really, really enjoy that game.
I had it as a kid. I love Keystone Capers. I left it off my list again, knowing that it would be on one of your guys' lists. I figured I kind of tried to play communally because I was like, okay, I know this is going to be on everybody else's list. I'm not going to say that one.
Yeah, and I'll say the same. Like that one's not on my list, and it's not because I don't like it, because it's a
great game. Yeah,
it's a great game. But like for me, like I didn't experience that game growing up, so that was one of those games I came to much later. Like maybe I don't know, I might be off a little bit here, but maybe 6-7 years ago, and it was on 5200. And playing the 5200 version, it was a blast. But I didn't actually play the 2600 version, so that's kind of why I didn't put it on mine. But Keystone Capers is definitely
phenomenal,
a great game.
Yeah.
And who did the homebrew for the 7000?
Actually, it was Lewis Hill.
Yeah.
Did you say that? Okay.
I said Muddy Vision. And then there's one for the Intellivision by Brian's Man Cave, Keystone Cops, I think it's called.
It's kind of crude.
It is. I think it was his
crude.
first one.
I'd rather play the 2600 version if I'm being honest. But
if I'm being completely honest, I think the 7800 version is my favorite.
Oh, it's great.
Yeah.
It's great. And you, like I said, you can get
music and
Opcode Games. Check it out, man. Yeah.
Yep.
All right, we are at number 1. We are at number one. So we're gonna each go around the horn on this, and then after that, we each get to pick our least favorite Activision game and why. We're gonna explain why. So, Mike, what is your number 1 favorite Activision 2600 game?
My number 1 is a huge nostalgic favorite for me, and maybe it's because I hail from the Great White North, but it's Frostbite.
I knew it.
Great game.
Frostbite.
I knew it.
Such a frantic. Like after you play the first couple levels, it gets so frantic. There is strategy to it. I played the crap out of ice hockey as a kid. My dad and I used to play ice hockey on the 2600 all the time. I would feel really dumb putting it on a top 5 list. It's a good game. I had lots of fun with it, but it's not better than any of these other ones, despite my Canadian pride. Yeah, Frostbite. Like there's a bear waiting on land for you, so you've got to jump on these ice flows. You've got to make them all blue or white, or it's been a while, but you got to change all their color. And then as soon as you've done all of that, once you jump off the last one, they change back, which means, and I remember, Phil, when you were playing this on stream, all of us were yelling at you in chat that when you jump up, you got to jump back down real quick and then go and get the rest.
I need to play it more.
You're building your igloo on shore, and then once you finish building your igloo, you run into it. The timer on each level is actually the temperature. The temperature is dropping as you play. It's just an absolutely wonderful game. It's one of my favorites. One of my favorite 2600 games, period.
That's another one on your list that I want to be better at. I just haven't really had a chance to, but it is fun. It's almost like Donkey Kong in a way, but you have to go up and down. You're not just trying to get to the top and then hit the igloo. You're building the igloo and also avoiding the bear along the way and the obstacles that may be in the water, like the birds and whatnot.
It's like Donkey Kong without apes, a girl to rescue, girders, oil bin, fire, barrels. Yeah, just like Donkey Kong.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it just, to me, because you're jumping. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I mean, if you're going to use that logic.
Okay. Well,
I knew what you were saying.
Okay.
As they would say in England, I was just taking the piss.
Okay.
Well, we won't be seeing Mike and Brian next week, but
yeah, right.
What are we going to talk about, Scott?
Uh,
All right, Brian, number one.
Yeah,
number one.
Yeah, my number one is for a few reasons, and again, I don't know that it'll be a full surprise, but it's Pitfall 2. And again, just if you remember from our like top games for Atari when we did that episode and stuff, it's just, I mean, it's such a technological marvel for its time. I mean, the fact that like I remember when we had them on, and you know it was discussed, like, I mean, that was made in assembly. I mean, they did that. I mean, that wasn't Atari Basic or anything else that, you know, that's used today to do more, you know, homebrew games and things like that. So to pull that off in assembly, and I believe there is like an extra chip on here, I think, that they did for the sound or whatever. But I mean, just to pull that off at the time this was actually released in, I believe, 1984. I mean, it was, I mean,
it
so
is
far ahead of everything.
An incredibly impressive game, for
right?
Sure, yeah.
I mean, so it's really hard not to give this the number one just for that reason. I mean, the fact that even in 1984 they were willing to put that much effort into it, because you know we were, you know, getting through the video game crash and all that. That it was just, I mean, yeah, I can't say enough great things about it. Huge upgrade from the original Pitfall, and again, it's not cheap. I mean, I don't know what it goes for now, but I mean,
it's right around $45, I think 50.
Okay, yeah. So, but it's such a good game, and apparently it does work with the 2600 plus, 7800 plus now. Good. So as long as you have it upgraded. So I mean,
never get mine upgraded.
It's a great sequel too. The fact that it was a sequel, it's just, you know.
But if you're playing on Stella, you can't play with your mouse. Sorry.
This is true.
All right, Scott. Number one. What's your number one?
Well, you all have had some great picks that I've liked as well. And before I toss my number one out there, Stampede, Keystone Capers, Pitfall, and the first Pitfall, and Frostbite are some honorable mentions of mine. And I do love Pitfall 2. I just wish you could turn the sound down or off, because that song, after about 5 minutes, I want to hang myself.
You know, your television has a volume.
I know, but I like hearing the jumps and the
I'm kind of with you there, but it wasn't a thing.
But that's not as annoying as other games that are out there. Nowhere near as annoying. But my number one, and I have 5 or 6 copies of this. I think it's 5, but this is my box copy. It is seaquest.
Ah, the boy.
Yeah, I absolutely adore this game. I love how difficult it gets, how crazy and frantic it gets. And yes, there is that strategy of being able to, being able to refuel yourself with oxygen by going up real quick, but make sure, that, with that boat coming by, make sure you get onto the other side if it comes, or make sure you're all the way over if it's earlier on, all the way over to the left. Otherwise, you're going to get crashed into. And everybody, for the longest time, I just thought that those were like barracuda. I didn't know they were sharks, even though there's a shark right there on the cover of right there on the cover of the cartridge in the box. But I absolutely love that game. I only wish I could get as involved with that video that I did for seaquest that I did with h.e.r.o, but no one would rent me a submarine. So sorry.
Well, that's what green screens are for, sir. I know you know how to use them.
Yeah, well, and the other one was all green screen as well. But I was just like, how am I going to pull this off? I was like, the heck with it. So, but yeah, that's my number one.
That's a good pick. That's a good pick.
Yeah, I think, Phil, just before you say your number one, we should do a really quick round just naming our honorable mentions before we talk about our least favorite. I think that'd be
mine down.
Oh, you don't have to, but I definitely have some that I want to mention. Because one that I'm surprised it's on nobody's list. It was definitely a consideration for me.
I'll say one off the bat, and it's Chopper Command. If I hadn't mastered it.
No, I had that as your number one.
It is not.
I thought that was going to be your number
No,
one. I even wrote it down. Oh.
It's one of those games that, you know, it's tough, but once you figure out and you can get to the 1,000,000 points or whatever, it's like, been there, done that. You know, at
Like
the time
asteroids.
when I got it, I didn't know how to beat it as a kid, and the 2600 version of Defender was bad. I just didn't like it. It was not good.
Benji's retrospective. He does his rating system is like, does it go on the shelf or does it go in the bin? And he did the 2600 games he has, and I gave him a real hard time for throwing Chopper Command in the bin. So that's that's why he's laughing right now.
Well, but you know, if it can you beat it? Benji, can you beat it? You know what I mean?
He sucks at anything with a helicopter. He also gave Choplifter the bin. So
he can't watch Predator either because he'll never get to the chopper. So,
but you should.
There we go. Good night.
I really like his format. You should check out his channel if you get a chance.
And a lot of the ones that Mike mentioned that I've already alluded to that I would like to play, they're actually probably better games than the ones that are on my list as far as actual gameplay value if you know what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
But I haven't played them enough to really be any good at them. Pressure Cooker's a great example. That's a tough one, you know, and it's one of these days it's on my bucket list, but that's not it. So, but my number one, did anyone else want to?
Well, if we wanted, sorry, I was going to say after the number ones, we could do our.
Oh, I thought you meant now.
But we can do that. Well, you know what? You should say your number one first so that I don't say an honorable mention that you.
Okay. All right. My number one is Beam Rider.
Okay.
Thank you. That was going to be the first one that I said.
Okay. Beam Rider was written by David Rolfe. Hope I'm pronouncing that right. And he wanted to do a game like Juno First, but vertical scrolling was a problem. Given the limitations of the programming, especially back in those days. And so he got really creative with it. And instead of the ship moving toward the enemy, he had the enemy moving toward the ship. And it created its own, it made its own game, even though it was meant to be Juno First-ish. But it's not. It's its own thing, and the graphically it looks similar, but it doesn't play the same. It doesn't play the same at all. And I will tell you this: if you do not have this in your collection, good luck getting it. If you go on eBay right now, I think the cheap repo label copies on there are going for $90.
Really?
Just for carts. Yeah.
I sold mine about 3 or 4 years ago because I have Juno First, and I prefer that over.
I prefer Juno First as well, but it's not an Activision game.
No, it's not.
And
Beam Rider is a game that I love. I never really think of it when I think typical Activision because it's not the big colorful. It doesn't have the sunsets, but it is a really good game.
Mm-hmm.
And Benji's retrospective is right. If you get a complete in box version, man, you're talking $150, $200 easy right now. It's crazy. It's crazy, but it's a great game. If you guys can find it out there, out in the wild, cheap or whatever, don't walk by it.
This was like 400 complete in box.
Yeah. I believe
crazy.
it.
Well, ever since Metal Jesus Rocks kept talking about how great it is, the price just went up. Thankfully, I got my copy before MJR was a thing.
Yeah. So, all right. So how you want to do it? You want to talk now about our honorable mentions?
If anybody's got honorable mentions, my ones that didn't quite make the list, but I wanted to, was Beam Rider, h.e.r.o, h.e.r.o, Keystone Capers, Spider Fighter, Oink. As a 2-player game, Oink is great. As a 1-player game, not so much, but it does have that kind of intensity to it. They're just some of my other favorites.
Yeah, Yeah, no, mine.
And River Raid too.
Yeah,
it's solid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, my honorable would be River Raid, and again, kind of like the other one we talked about, is just I actually played it on the 5200 first, and then I ended up playing it on. Now this one I did then play on the 2600, and again, both versions are very, very good. But obviously, if you played the 5200 version first, that is obviously a better version than the 2600. So at least in my opinion, because of graphics and stuff. But
now River Raid 2, I never liked.
Yeah,
the stupid takeoff landing sequence.
Mm-hmm.
No.
But yeah, so River Raid,
Pitfall is overrated. There, I said it, Jeremiah Thomas.
And then Crackpots was another good one. Spider Fighter, one that again I played as a kid, which had fun with, even though just I'm not saying it's the best, but it's definitely still a fun one. Was Barnstorming, and really like in Freeway. Freeway's another fun one.
Yeah, I love Freeway.
Yeah, I played a lot of Freeway as a kid. It's certainly not what you'd call like a really good game, but it's a fun 2-player, especially for little kids. And Brian had Kaboom on his actual list.
Yep.
And see, this just shows like Jeremiah's opinion is invalid.
If you're looking for a really fun 2-player Activision game, Fishing Derby. Man, I love that game. That's so much fun. I'm easy to please though, guys. So
I find it pretty boring.
And
I just love the simplicity of it. It's just so it's I don't know. It's almost as relaxing as fishing in a way. It's like, okay, especially
I don't fish though.
I don't either. I'm a little girl when it comes to fishing, and it's just ew, this is nasty, and get this thing away from me. And
it's not the same playing the computer as it is someone else, though. What I'm saying is, if you have a competitor and you're playing as a 2-player game, it can get intense. Just because. Oh man, I wanted to get that one. No, I wanted because I needed more points. Someone got one of the lower fish or something. I just can remember playing with my brother that way.
And it is funny what Jeremiah said that no one mentioned Star Master. I mean, I liked all 3 of those games. I think there's only 3. There was Star Master, Star Voyager, and Star Raiders, and all very, very similar games. But for some reason, I don't know why, I always gravitated towards Star Voyager. That one was my favorite of the 3, even though they're so similar.
All right. Well, I know this is one that might be on someone's worst, but I like dragster. I
wouldn't call it my worst. It's a fun enough. Once you know how to play, it's a fun enough game, but it's only fun for like 2 minutes.
Yeah, and this is not a long.
This isn't Saturday night with my wife. 2 minutes doesn't cut it.
Yeah, you go 2 minutes? Are you serious? Wow, what are you taking? All right. All right. Let's just go ahead and go on to our worst. Let's do our worst, Mike.
So my least favorite Activision game, Bridge. I'm a euchre guy.
I love euchre. You all don't want none of this.
I love euchre. But no, like my grandmother taught me how to play Bridge in the 80s, and I didn't like the real life version of Bridge. So why would I like the video game version? And it's kind of tough to figure out how to even play Bridge on the 2600. I get it's an easy choice, but it is like the only Activision game I own that will probably never go into my console again, except for a mini review.
Okay.
What about you? 1 out of 10.
Yeah, it'd be a 1 out of 10.
All right, Brian.
So I forgot about Bridge because honestly, that probably would have been my pick.
That says a lot.
Yeah. So but to stay with what I was going to pick, and all I gotta say is thank God Jeremiah already did his ratings, because I feel like after I say this, my ratings would be tanked. So I appreciate that after the final round I was number 1. Just keep that in mind, guys. But
well, no, this is the final round. I think I'm moving up to number 2.
So and you got to hear me out on this one. So my least favorite was Space Shuttle, and it's just simply because I think they might have just been too ambitious with it. Like, I think if I would have maybe had everything with it, I would probably have a different opinion.
Get him.
But
if you would have had the Steel Battalion controller, you would have been okay.
Right. I mean, I think they just did too much with this being the 26. They tried to do too much. Like they tried to think it was a computer and it wasn't, you know. So, and I think that was part of the problem.
And so Space Shuttle is actually one of those ones that it's got a big learning curve. I have always wanted to learn how to play it properly. I don't know how to yet, but I do know that key to success is the little card overlay that you're supposed to put over your system switches, because it uses the switches as controls in your shuttle.
And I did not know that overlay existed. So
and so I mean, and that
I thought I had a complete, and I didn't.
And that's one of the things too. It's like, if you didn't have the instruction manual for Raiders of the Lost Ark, you would have no idea what to do in Raiders of the Lost Ark, because you have to use the two controllers, one for your menu. So it's the same kind of deal.
I knew he was going to comment.
I think you might be moving down the list.
Yeah, but I have a feeling I will be too. But yeah.
So that's the idea. Like, there's a big learning curve. You need the manual, you need that overlay, or at least you have to remember what switches do which. It's definitely one that I want to learn how to play.
Yeah. Like I said, I think it would have played much better on a computer, and that's just like what I felt like whenever I was playing that. I felt like it tried too hard to be a computer game instead of an Atari game. And that's just where, again, it just did not click for me. But again, to each their own. We all have our own tastes. So
yeah, but we all know that Jeremiah doesn't accept other people's tastes.
I'm seeing that.
Scott, tell us.
I kind of have two, and for very good reason. Now, one is simply because, gosh, my son loves this game, and his stepdad introduced him to it. He goes, "Oh, you got to play this. You ever played it?" I go, "No, it's sitting over there. I've never played it." And we tried. I hate this game. It's just, maybe my reflexes, maybe I'm getting old, maybe it's just that boring to me, but I can't stand it, because for me, it's just, there's not enough game here. It's almost like you're flipping a coin and you're waiting to get a score. And like Mike said, you know, within 60 seconds or 2 minutes, you're done. That's it. So that I hate that game for that reason. But this one,
that is the only Activision game that I literally got a patch within like 3 games.
Well, I even got it because my son, he loved it so much. I made him a shadow box that had the cartridge and the box and a repro patch in it, because he was so good at it. And I made it for him for Christmas one year. But anyway, this one's going to blow your mind. Now, this one, I don't like this game, and this is all on me. So, Mike, I want you to play this game one Saturday, simply so I can watch you and learn how to play it, because I really want to play this game. I know it's a good game, but I hate it because I can't figure it the heck out.
I did stream this game.
Did you?
Well, yeah, like a month and a half ago.
Oh,
you got to go watch that one.
I'll watch it. I will watch it.
Mm-hmm.
I'll watch it, because I look at the directions and I'm like, what is this coming at me? As a graphic designer, it doesn't make any sense to me. I'm sitting there going, what is going on?
You have to know what the orders are and how to fill them, but that's what it boils down to.
At the bottom, it tells you what's supposed to be on each burger, and then as soon as you finish a burger, you have to grab that burger, take it down off the bottom of the screen, and put it on the right conveyor belt there.
I just don't understand how I can play Diner Dash, but I can't play this.
Well, if you have any questions after watching back that stream, you let me know.
Then I know I'm a real moron. If I can't figure it out after watching you, it's like, what did I miss, Mike? What did I miss? So I'll check it out.
All right. Now, my game, my least favorite, has been mentioned, and not in a negative way, but I do not like it. Freeway. Okay, I don't like freeway because
that's because you were 20 when the 2600 came out.
Almost. Not really, but I remember having Frogger, the Parker Brothers version at home before I got my copy of Freeway, and I'm thinking this is going to be fun. Well, to me, I got bored with it really quick. It was written. Let's see who was written by. It was by David Crane. David Crane wrote it, and it was one of his earlier ones, I believe. But anyway, your chicken can only move vertically. He cannot move horizontally at all. And so your job is to get from one side of the street to the other. Well, even the manual says for tips and tricks is to memorize the patterns of the traffic.
Yeah.
So if that's all it takes to get across the street, at the only, like, if
that is easier said than done, Phil. Have you played that truck level?
I imagine
Truck
it is.
crazy.
I imagine it is, but I don't like being able just doing that to move vertically, and not any other direction. If I had the option of moving left or right, it would have made it to me a more fun game. And so
it's more of a game of patience.
I think Mr. Postow's really nailed the problem here. You need to have friends. Freeway's fun with friends.
I
bet your granddaughter would love it.
Well, I actually think she would, but she's pretty much a gamer. I know she's only 7, but I mean, she's got.
So you're afraid she's going to kick your butt?
Oh, I know she would. But
I actually played. My first year on YouTube, I did a birthday video playing games against my kids, and I played Freeway against my daughter. She loved it.
I'm just, maybe that's, you guys were grimacing when I mentioned Fishing Derby is a 2-player fun game, and I don't remember ever playing that with my brother. So maybe had I had done that, I might have a different thought about it, but I don't remember ever playing against anybody. And so I'm thinking, well, I'm just got to make it across the street, memorize the pattern, I'm done, and I'm like, I just, and I've never played to this day. I've never played bridge or checkers. I really have no desires to play either one of those 2 games for the Activision. So I don't even count those. If I had, those would be some of the worst. But as far as games that I've played, Freeway is my least favorite.
So if anybody cares what Jeremiah thinks, Brian, you didn't drop. There's a tie now. Scott, you're in the basement. But you know what? His opinion's invalid. So I think we're all winners.
You're not supposed to talk to your subscribers like that.
I was always the last.
We have
anyway.
Jeremiah and I have this kind of relationship. Right
I know.
Now, and I kind of like it. It's
I'm
fun.
just saying. Yeah. For those of you who don't know, you're thinking, man, why is this guy's a YouTuber and he's talking down to people who are watching? So anyway,
well, there you go, Phil. In another 18 years, you're gonna love Freeway.
That may be all I can do. I'll be lucky if I'm around at 78, 79. Oh, at the rate I'm going. Anyway, I think this has been a very fun episode. I've enjoyed this tremendously. I have not been able to stream, for those of you who are regulars on the Retro Bliss gaming channel. I haven't been able to stream lately. I have not been feeling well. I've been getting horrible like and I've got a shoulder replacement surgery looming. It's coming soon, like first week of August, which is really soon. So I appreciate all of you guys hanging with me, and appreciate everybody who's been watching for Mike's Gaming Gala. Also, we simulcast as much as we can between the 2 channels, and Mike, that's another thing too. He's done a great job keeping the seat warm. While I am laid up, our frequency may change. So you will be informed. We will let you know. If I cannot do a Retro Bliss Rewind podcast. I am 95% sure that Mike will keep the seat warm and have my MGG live show, which he has been doing the last few weeks. Thank you so much for doing that, Mike. I really appreciate it. You don't know how much all of you guys mean to me. And so we're going to get this migraine thing straightened out. I have no clue. I don't know. The medications that they had me on are not working. I've been on the prednisone steroid thing, and I'm starting a new medication starting tomorrow. It's just been crazy. So anyway, we are going to try to, and we hadn't really talked about this much in the chat. Maybe I shouldn't bring this up on live.
Here we go.
But I did mention it. In our Discord. Yes. Possibly next week, talking a little bit about our collections. If we don't do that one, we may do another third-party 2600.
There's been suggestions here of Imagine.
Yeah,
would be a good one to do.
Yeah, a couple good suggestions there.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we'll look into it. We'll see but Lord willing, if I'm up to it, we'll definitely have a Retro Bliss Rewind podcast next week. So appreciate all of you guys. You guys are all amazing. And Dr. Scott, as always, thank you so much for being part of the channel.
Thanks
on
for
my
having
live
me on.
streams.
It's always a pleasure.
Your name is at the end of all of my live streams. I don't know if you remember that or not, but I have your name is one of the regular panelists on the channel. 5 hardest games. Yeah, Andy.
This was another suggestion. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great suggestion. We may do that one. So anyway, all right, guys. We'll see you next time on Retro Bliss Rewind. We're out. Bye. See ya.